Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the That's Football. That's Football. That's Football. It's definitely That's Football. And hopefully it's going to be another cracking Champions League semi-final. What a night it was last night. Barely can believe. Well, I can believe it. I just wish it was still being played. 4-3 Man City against Real Madrid. And tonight we've got Liverpool against Villarreal. It's England against Spain again. It's the Premier League against La Liga again. And it's the English team at home again. And I think actually we can all talk about the lack of atmosphere at Man City. I couldn't really hear it, so I'm not going to judge it. But Anfield, this is going to be a real test for Villarreal. They're not as good as Real Madrid. Liverpool are on a level with Man City. The atmosphere is going to be different. The only thing I would say is that the Everton game at the weekend showed that you can sort of funnel Liverpool down the flanks and not let them come through the middle. But you've got to deal with the crosses. It'd be very interesting to see if Villarreal, if that's a dress rehearsal for Klopp that he learns from, or whether Villarreal can keep Liverpool at bay for a large proportion of the game, which is what Everton did. And obviously I think Villarreal are a better team than Everton, so it could play into their hands. We'll go straight into the team news here. We've got Liverpool's team news, which is Alisson, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, and Salah, Mane, Diaz. Is that his best 11 now? Because Matip, I would have thought, would be a starter, but he's on the bench. Other than that, Jota's on the bench. I suppose you could make an argument about the midfield. He could have changed that up a little bit. But in relation to Villarreal, Rulli, Foyth, Albiol, Torres, Esteban, Chukwueze, Parrayo, Capoue, Coquelin, Lo Celso and Danjuma. They've got good players, They have got good players. Alcazar's on the bench for them. But yeah, I know quite a lot about Villarreal because United have played them a few times, twice in the Champions League this year and obviously in the Europa League final last year. So know quite a lot about them. And to be fair, when United played them in the group stage, they never really put a team that strong out. Chukwueze didn't play the Europa League final and was still not quite fit back. So that's probably the strongest I've seen Villarreal play, put out a team. I don't think they ever put a team as strong as that out against us. So there's not really anything you can say about injuries. I know Moreno's not there, but that, as I say, I still don't think they put a team out as strong as that against United in the 3 times we've played them. So it's looking good. They had loads of problems. Mark, I can't do super chats on the United stand, says Marcus and James. Marcus and James, I don't know why. Can I just give a shout out to the community from last night as well? The halftime chat was absolutely fantastic. So if anyone's got any good ideas for halftime chat, then let's get into the chat for that. This should and could be another game where, look, Man City could last night have put that game completely to bed. They could have been 3 or 4-0 up and the game's over and they're in the final. Obviously, that sets it up lovely for a second semi-final, and that's what you want. We want to see a second semi. But tonight does have the opportunity for Liverpool to put this game to bed, and I think that they will certainly be going for that with the home crowd. So, I don't know. Villarreal, if they're going to be successful, as we saw against Bayern, as we've seen against Manchester United, they are a team that doesn't like to concede goals and build their team around that. So it will be interesting. The poll's out. You can get voting there. Unblock me on Twitter, please. Randomly been blocked, says the Reaction King. I don't know what your Twitter is, so how can I unblock you? And I don't randomly block anybody. So you haven't randomly been blocked. I haven't accidentally gone onto your Twitter page and blocked you. If you've been blocked, you've been blocked for a reason. You need to think about what you could have done and learn from it. Mark, what's your score prediction? I reckon a solid 2-0 to the Reds. I think 2-0 is probably the scoreline to go to. Yes, I think that might be enough to put Liverpool through, to be honest. But because Liverpool defend well as well. One thing I know Man City conceded 3 goals last night, but Liverpool and Man City do tend to defend quite well as well. Mark, we could rank all Premier League managers, says Marcus Bevis. We could, but we're not going to. Sounds very boring to me. We could. I suppose we could do top 5 Premier League managers, but then again, we already know 3 of them. So yeah, no, I don't think. I think we need something better than that. Last night we did Premier League Team of the Season, so. We want to do something a little bit interesting, I think. Ideal for half-time. Harry Maguire at the 38th best centre-back in the league, above 15. What? Harry Maguire at the 38th best centre-back in the league, above 15 apps. How can we guess all the centre-backs ranked above him? Well, it depends. Well, yeah, but that the trouble with that is, I mean, so basically, you want me to do a half-time show, centre backs better than Harry Maguire in the Premier League, but what's that? But I mean, look, I literally do look at stats for certain things, but I always use the retainer that stats can never beat your ability to read and watch a game and know who's a good player. I don't need to look at stats to know that Mbappe is a good player or Neymar's a good player or Salah is a good player. I know they're good players. And if they had crap stats and they were worth 10 million, I'd steal them for 10 million because I know they're good players. So stats can be useful. But, I mean, Harry Maguire's the 35th best centre-back in the Premier League. That's just taking it too far. Like, he's probably one of the best players in the Premier League at winning headers. His direction of headers make him useless, but he is decent in the air. So, yeah, I think, you know, you can kick a man when they're down, can't you? Mark, how about Champions League team of the season, says Joel Morris. We could do that. I'm open to ideas. Liverpool have got a 66% chance of winning at the moment. Do you think Villarreal are hoping to draw today, says Hot Sauce? Villarreal are basically a very hard team to enjoy because they're very, you know, well organised. They're not a very entertaining side normally. We could see a very similar game to what we saw in the Merseyside derby where they're just looking to hit on the break. But with Chukwueze and Danjuma, they have got players on the break. Lo Celso, we know all about him from Spurs. He's not terrible. They've got good players in the midfield. I think it was it Capoue or Coquelin, one of the two, ran the game at Old Trafford last year. Top 10 non-Premier League CDMs, says Rudy. The best 11 is nonsense. Should be winner the comp, says LUHG. Okay. Over the two legs, Villarreal are going to win, says Ken Boone. And I'm keeping my eyes on Pau Torres. Yes, I mean, Pau Torres is an individual I'm keeping an eye on. I'm not saying he's going to come to United, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is in the Premier League next year. And he's certainly ready to move on from Villarreal, the Villarreal number 4. And he is a player that's been linked to Manchester United a couple of times. And I think tonight, against one of the best attacks in the Premier League, it'd be very interesting to see how he deals with that relentless pressure. So I'm looking forward to that. Atmosphere is going to be full 11 of future prospects, says AJ Trax. And what's your go-to meal? I mean, best under 21 11 is probably a good. Best Premier League under 21 11 is probably quite good. Most underrated players, we've done that, Ben. We have done that. Top 5 Champions League finals marks, says Andrew Blake. And have you seen Chelsea have got no players in the Premier League team of the season on FIFA? Says Harrison. Well, the only one player that I really think got into our Premier League team of the season was Rudiger. So, I mean, you could argue who were the centre-backs in the Premier League team of the season on FIFA then? Because unless it's Matip, I wouldn't be putting Diaz ahead of Rudiger. Mark, I'm a United fan, and when Liverpool fans sing "You'll Never Walk Alone," it gives me goosebumps. You're not a United fan then, Smazzy. You can't be a United fan and get goosebumps, so you'll never walk alone. Come on. I'd rather walk alone. I don't even think it's a good song because I know it's to do with Liverpool. Its melody and lyrics mean nothing to me. It's like listening to somebody. It's like, you know, that scene from Jaws when Quint runs his nails down the chalkboard. You know, it doesn't matter how good the song. It could be classic Queen, and I still wouldn't like it. Mark, how about top 10 sports movies, bracket style, says Brian. Thanks for the super chats, by the way, on the suggestions. I've still not hit on something I'm passionate about. Would Everton be the biggest club to be relegated in the Premier League, says Paul Matt? That's a bit of a quiz question. Well, Man City got relegated, but they weren't very big at the time. Leeds got relegated. They were quite big. Is Everton a bigger club than Leeds? I would say it is. So, Villa have been relegated. I think Villa's a bigger club than Everton, isn't it? It's close. So, I'd say they're not the biggest club, but it will send shockwaves through because Everton have been in the Premier League and League One for Division 1 for a very long time. When will we get in a World Cup preview? Says the Kuda. Well, you do know the World Cup's in December, mate. And didn't Blackburn go down when they were a decent size? Yeah, but they weren't bigger than bloody Everton. Everton are a big club. Everton are a big club. Newcastle have been relegated as well. So look, I'm not going to get into the debate of who's a bigger club, but Everton going down, well, Villa have been down, West Ham have been down, Newcastle have been down. So there are big clubs that have been relegated. How am I feeling, Mark, says Lino? You know what? I need this game to be good tonight. I want another game like Real Madrid against Manchester City last night, because it's a three watch-alongs in a row. It's quite attentive, to be honest. They are quite tiring doing watch-alongs, and I've got to do United Chelsea tomorrow as well on United Stand. Liverpool fans have never wore cologne, says CH. Do alert World 11 for the past decade, Mark. Too technical. Hi, Mark. I've been struggling lately. I'm a Liverpool fan, but your content always gives me something to keep me occupied. Thanks, mate, says Psych Shady. Hope you're doing well, pal. Chin up. I'm in that club with you as well. I've got to be honest. Post COVID, my mental health has been shite, and a few people have said that. And you just can't control it. And that's, people have that on a day-to-day basis. So look, as I always say with this, don't ever feel guilty that you don't feel good, because not everybody does all the time. Christine C, and the best thing is to be open and honest about it. Christine C, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. Half-time idea, one player each Premier League club should sell, says Andy and Benji. I like that. It's got to be from the first team, though. Yeah, that's a contender. Because if I say Man United and somebody says Phil Jones, he's not a first teamer. So what we'll do is we'll say one player to sell from the first team of every Premier League club that will make them better. I like that one. There may be more. Will it be harder for City to score in Spain and Madrid more easier to score, says Dalla. Well, I don't necessarily think it will, actually, because Chelsea had no problem going there and scoring. I think it will probably follow the same path. I don't think Man City will be harder because of the game it's going to be, but I don't think it will be harder in the sense that Man City will have to park the bus. Should United take on more players on loan, says Harley. What do you mean more? Who've United got who's on loan? I don't think United have got one on loan. So, top 10 songs from the 90s. It's not that sort of channel. Bucket of water. Let's do a combined 11 of flops, says Tiger Claws. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're about to get going here. I need to get the bloody timer on. Get the timer on, man. Get the timer on. Are you ready? Are you ready for love? Yes, I am. Oh, yeah. Are you ready? What was I going to do? I was going to my phone for something. I completely forgot. Oh, I know now. I know now. Team out of the Champions League semi-finals. We've done that, Tristan. And in a few years, Grimsby versus Man United will be on the cards, says Hot Sauce. What you talking about? What you talking about? Wash your mouth out with a pint of fairy liquid and soap. You bloody, you absolute plonker. We're only 200 subscribers away from 662,000. So let's see if we can hit that tonight. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Okay. Villarreal are having a hug. Look like a big bowl of custard. They're all in a circle. Makes me hungry. Get a bit of spotted dick in it and you're away. If you don't know what spotted dick is, it's delicious. And there's no need to be rude. It's sponge with currants in it. You have it with custard. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely pudding. I tell you what's a lovely pudding as well. Takes me back to the school days. Cornflake tart, which was like shortbread with this sticky jam and then cornflakes and then custard and butterscotch tart as well. That was lovely. Anyone used to have pink custard at school? No, they don't do custard now. We grew up on custard when I was at school. Every pudding we had was custard. They used to have these big vats of custard at primary school. I don't jam roly poly. Oh yes, jam roly poly sticky with custard. Get in, come on, loved it. But it must be an age thing. Pink custard was amazing, Hot Sauce says. Yeah, I think it must have been an age thing. I don't think they do it at schools now, do they? Custard. Fake says, I've got a broken arm. Hopefully it's not the one you need to use. And we're off and running here. Yeah, I used to have custard nearly every lunchtime. I'm surprised I'm not dead. least we got exercise as kids. You'd have a big bowl of custard with some apple pie or something, and then it was out to play. But miss, it's freezing cold, it's sleet, it's -2. You've had your custard, get out for an hour. We're all going for a smoke. We never used to stay in. I think the only days we used to get kept in on school play from playtime was if it was like literally a river outside of rain. Anything else, out you go. Even in the summer, like if we go out there, we're going to get skin blisters. Get out, it's a lovely sunny day. You never know what it's going to be like it again. I've got 3rd-degree burns. Get a bit of oil on. Donny and Kamara for Man United midfield. Just saying, says Salah Ahmed. Just saying, you're wrong, Salah. We ain't getting Kamara. He's off to Atletico Madrid, I think. I love cheesecake, yes. Whoever said that. I love a bit of cheesecake. Jonathan, 23. So we're up and running here. A couple of minutes gone. Well, only 1 minute and 40 seconds gone, actually. I like ice cream and custard. Britain's Got Talent. Les, I can notice you, yes. Come on, Villarreal. So let's close the poll, actually. So we've got 66% going with the Liverpool win, 12% going with the draw, and Villarreal 22%. So, yeah, I think that's about right. I think you're absolutely about right there. I don't fancy Villarreal at all. Chocolate custard. I think I have had it. I can imagine it, so... Keep your eye on number 4, Pau Torres. Let's see what he can do tonight. Tonight, on That's Football, we're joined by Sean Dyche. What are you thinking? We all live in a yellow submarine. It's confusing me. It really is. Because it's sung by the Beatles, Liverpool, but then Villarreal are yellow. I just don't know what I'm to think. I'm just going to say Yellow by Coldplay. Pink custard is very nice. I've not seen it in years. I remember it always used to have a skin on the top. Yeah, when they used to open these big vats of custard at primary school, right, they'd open it up and on the top there'd always be a lining of skin on it because obviously when they've brought it from the place that's cooked it, it's settled on the top, right? And they used to say at the start, does anyone like the skin on custard? And there was this guy who was he wasn't a guy because he was about 9. It was about 39. I don't know what he was doing there. I think he was a bit of a nonce. Anyway, he was about 9 and gone out for a goal kick. Yeah, every time he'd put his hand up, him and his brother would put their hand up to go and get the skin off the custard. And every time he'd come over with the skin on you'd have this bowl of whatever it was, apple pie, custard, but there'd be this skin on the top. And I'd be sat next to him and be like, what? How can you eat that? He says, I know, I don't really like it, but at least it means I get up to eat first and then I'll be first up for seconds. He's dead now. Heart attack. Cholesterol. Anyway, we move. 3 minutes gone. Liverpool dictating the play, but Villarreal will settle in. What Villarreal have got to do is not do what Real Madrid do last night and defend badly. They'll want to play their game. They want to pass the ball. But I feel that Real Madrid last night played right into Man City's hands by trying to pass out from the back and play their natural game when really they should have just been hitting it long to Benzema for 10 minutes just to settle the game down. Did you find out which team Spence the right back supports, Mark? Also, what's better, rice pudding or custard, says Joshua Bowater. I prefer custard, Joshua Bowater. I think in relation to Spence, I think he does have an affection for Manchester United, but I don't think he's a die-hard Manchester United fan. Like many modern day footballers, I don't think many high-profile professional footballers actually, I think Trent Alexander-Arnold, is he a Liverpool fan, born and bred? Is Mo Salah a Liverpool fan, born and bred? I doubt it. Maybe they both support Real Madrid, but I doubt that they're looking for the Real Madrid scores on a Saturday night. I think when you're a professional footballer, you're a professional for the club that you play for, aren't you? Villarreal seem like they are good defensive side, says Sam G. They are. They're well organised. And already you can see that they're doing what Everton did on Sunday, getting plenty of people back and funneling Liverpool down the channel. Yeah, it's good to get a good look on closer look on Pau Torres tonight, number 4. There's Emery. I've got any Arsenal fans in the chat. Interested to know what you think about Emery. It's none of my business. Obviously sacked by Arsenal, and he's won the Europa League since, and he's now in a Champions League semi-final. I mean, say what you like. I don't really know whether to comment and say Arsenal made a mistake or not. I don't know whether they did, but I think he's shown that he was a good coach. It might not have worked out at Arsenal, but he's definitely a good coach. You know, you don't take a team like Villarreal to win the Europa League in a semi-final of the Champions League in a year unless you got something about you, especially when he's not using a checkbook. Do you fancy Anthony Gordon at Man United, says Mohammed? There's something about him. There's something about Anthony Gordon. I will concede he a bit of a diver, sponsored by Speedo, but he's got something about him. He's got a bit of endeavour. He's got a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and yeah, you can see why the Everton fans like him. Yeah, I think somebody just said there he couldn't fix Arsenal, but Arteta seems to be doing a better job. Maybe it's just a culture thing. Maybe coming to the Premier League and trying to get Premier League players to play. It just wasn't for him. Maybe it just didn't suit the league. That's something Arteta would know about because he's played in it, he's coached in it with Pep. Maybe that's what it was all about. Look at Ranić with the players. My God, they should have been 1-0 up there. Liverpool, I think he was offside anyway, Mane. Oh, no, he was onside. Don't know how that's happened there. So corner comes in, somebody heads it down and it drops to Mane and it gets stuck under his feet. Yeah, he was onside. He was onside. So it's another corner. Yeah, I know that Arteta's Spanish, mate, but Emery never played in the Premier League and he hasn't coached in the Premier League before. I'm just saying that, look at Ranić. He's come into the Premier League and he's struggling with it. I think the Premier League culture is very different to a lot of other places. Spurs or Arsenal for top four, says Amna. I'm going Arsenal again at the moment. I think it can change week to week, but I am going Arsenal again because they got West Ham on Sunday, and West Ham are playing Europa League football tomorrow, so I think that will play into Arsenal's hands. So I think Arsenal will win again at the weekend, and Spurs, I can't remember who Spurs have got at the weekend. Might be Brighton or something. Yeah, I think I'd go Arsenal at the moment. Spurs just need to stay in the top four race until that game against Arsenal on the 14th, isn't it? Just having a quick look at Arsenal's running here. So they've got West Ham, Leeds, and then they've got Tottenham. All Arsenal have got to do is beat West Ham and Leeds, and they'll definitely be at least 2 points ahead of Spurs. But the interesting thing is, if Arsenal can win their next two games, that would mean Spurs have got to win their next two just to be 2 points behind Arsenal going into that game. And you look at their next two fixtures, Leicester at home and then Liverpool away. Going into that Spurs game, Arsenal could be more than one win ahead of Spurs, and that would make a massive difference. Yeah, I think that Spurs-Arsenal game might not mean as much as people think. Oh, he's in down the left-hand side here. Villarreal, they're in. Cross comes in. Van Dijk clears. That was an offside anyway. Luke, I feel like you've just wasted finger energy. Could have been using it on something else. He says Arsenal's better than United at the moment. No shit, Sherlock. God, I sometimes wonder what the logic of someone's mentality is, that they actually think they've actually taken the energy to lean forward onto their laptop or get their phone out and type out Arsenal are better than United at the moment. I'm like, it's like typing out oxygen helps you breathe. I mean, all the things you could have done with those wasted calories. Pick your nose, wipe your arse. Never getting that time back, Luke. Never getting that time back. Dave, water is not wet apparently. Hi Mark, can you say happy birthday to my girlfriend Joanne? Says Jay Middleton. Happy birthday, Joanne. I don't know whether that second name makes me say something rude, so I'll just say Joanne. Thanks for the super chat, Jay. Butterscotch Angel Delight is lovely. Oh, I love Angel Delight. Chocolate Angel Delight is lovely. Chocolate Angel Delight and Butterscotch Angel Delight. Oh, cross into Mane was offside. That was a chance as well. I don't know whether he was offside or not. It's lovely play by Salah. Oxygen helps you breathe, says Red Harlow. Well, Salah's onside here. And Mane was onside for the header. So it would have been a goal. Timber. Timber is wanted by Bayern Munich now. Bayern Munich are bloody buying most of the Ajax team. They've got the right back, Gravenberch, and now they want Timber. It's a bloody joke. As I said on Twitter, can't they just email Timber 5 Bundesliga titles and then just let him not waste 5 years of his career and come to the Premier League? Yeah, it was very similar to City's first goal, Ryan. Yes, it was. Okay, and how did we beat Villarreal and they are in the semis and we are not, says TT. And Jamie Mark, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you. Well, United did beat Villarreal, but in a one-off game, those things can happen, can't they? Les, you've been noticed. That's the last time. Good shot. Keeper spilled it, but he gets onto it. Shot by Diaz from distance. Keeper gets it second time. I think United should go for a pair of Bissouma and Neves, who seem to be able to complement each other instead of Rice, who will cost more than both, says Mohammed. Declan Rice is not going to end up coming to Manchester United. The reality is West Ham seem to think he's not going to go, but there ain't no chance Declan Rice will sign a new contract at West Ham. And I think he's been a very loyal servant to West Ham, and I think he wants to go to a bigger club. And West Ham shouldn't take that as an insult. He clearly wants to go to Chelsea or Man City, who are clubs that are capable of winning the league or the Champions League every year, and West Ham aren't capable of doing that. So West Ham really need to be realistic and let him go, because he clearly wants to go. But I don't know whether it's going to happen or not, but obviously, clearly, Chelsea want him. Akanji or Pau Torres, says Coulter. Oh, easily Torres. I don't think Akanji is a player that the top teams in Europe are queuing up to look at. They're confident on the ball, Villarreal. I see Pau Torres there under pressure in his own box, and they're looking to pass out from the back all the time. It will get them into trouble against Liverpool. They conceded another corner here. It is going to. They're putting themselves under a lot of unforced errors and putting themselves under a lot of pressure trying to play out from the back. And I think that plays into Liverpool's hands, because Klopp and Liverpool have got one of the best pressing games in the world. So it's difficult. So it's another corner for Liverpool here. Headed away, edge of the box. Keeper, I don't know what this keeper's doing. He thinks he's in a circus. I don't even want to read this out, but I'm going to. Shorty says, Mark, could United be title contenders next season if things go right with Ten Hag and new signings? Mate, we ain't playing FIFA. We're not at Hogwarts either. This ain't happening. It terrifies me that some people might actually even think about it. How's Gary Barlow today? Says Ishmael. He's absolutely incredible, Ishmael. He's absolutely fantastic. Villareal on the attack. Nice little roll into the fullback. Crosses it. It's a decent cross. Won't go out for a corner though. Goes for a throw in. Zeraf, thank you very much for your super chat there. I'm telling you now. The chances of Man United winning the I'll give you some things that there's more likely chances of happening than Man United winning the Premier League next season. There's more chance of Rangers winning the Champions League next season than there is of Manchester United winning the Premier League. There's more chance of Arsenal winning the Premier League than Manchester United winning the Premier League. And there's more chance of Qatar winning the World Cup than Man United winning the Premier League. To be fair, Mark, United are more likely to win the league in real life than with you on FIFA, says Henry. Oh, ha 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 ha. I'll tell you what, Henry. I bet if you went to the O2 Arena and said you're doing stand up, you'd sell it out for a month. How would you rate the refereeing for yesterday's Champions League game, Jordan? Elite refereeing, fantastic, very very good, really really good. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Yeah, I hardly noticed the referee, and I think that's always a really big thing. Give me a sign. I'm not reading that out yet. I mean, I know some people just think that their comedy is really funny, but I'm not even reading that out. It's disgusting. And this isn't a show for bloody that sort of crap. It's not a Joe Pasquale stand-up act. I've got a song that'll get on your nerves. Can you wish my lovely girlfriend Diana happy birthday, says T-Fuzz. Please, by the way, huge fan. Happy birthday to Diana from Fuzz. Turning into a radio show here. My opinion on Arsenal and their future. Well, look, I always get asked about Arsenal, and I do think Arteta's doing a good job. The first time I've hated the job he's doing was on Saturday. I've always been quite neutral towards it. I think he's been doing a good job, but I couldn't stand him on Saturday. But that just shows that he is doing a good job because, he was playing my team. If you could have one player from United's past to play for you now, who would it be? Easy, Harrison Jones. There's just no doubt about it. Every single time I'll answer you this question. Prime Roy Keane, because you not only do you get a player, you get the best captain in Premier League history. And you not only do you get a really good player in the midfield where we need a player, you get a leader who's just going to kick the shit out of everybody in that dressing room. So yeah, I think different teams need different things. If that Liverpool team was a United side and you said what player from the past would I bring back, I'd probably bring like Prime Ronaldo back or Prime Rooney to play up front because I think he'd be great in that team. But yeah, it depends about what you need. Mark's a bitter fan, says Tony. I don't think you watch the channel, mate. I'm really not bitter at all. Way past being bitter. I'm realistic. What's your opinion on bitter people aren't realistic and they're jealous? I'm very realistic. What's your opinion on no away goals in the Champions League? Yeah, I said it last night. Paul Johnson, I think. I don't know what everyone else thinks. We did a poll about it last week and most people were in agreement. I think it's worked. It's worked. You would not... I don't think you'd get a 4-3 game last night if you had away goals. I really don't. Who was a better captain, Keane for United or Puyol for Barcelona, says Red Harlow. I don't follow La Liga enough to say, and I didn't watch Barcelona enough to say, so I'm always going to say Roy Keane. More likely Stevie Wonder becomes a pilot than United winning the league next season. Also, Maguire is 38th worst centre-back in the Premier League based on stats, says Alex G. But I've got to be fair. I don't know where people are pulling this shit out from, but it's a load of bullshit. One thing I've always learnt from my community over the last 7 years is that you can't decide an argument on stats, and he's not the 38th worst player on stats. So, I mean, I'm sorry, he is the worst player. I'll take your word for it. He is the worst player on stats, 38th, but he isn't the 38th worst centre-back in the Premier League. Just absolutely nonsense. Nonsense spouted by people looking for controversy. I told you, I mentioned this the other day. There's people who just make videos for controversial reasons. They don't believe it. At least when I do content, I do believe it at the time. I've seen some of the stuff floating around at the moment. I saw one today. It got 330,000 views as a short on YouTube. Some bastards nicked it from my channel and put it up and got 330,000 views off it, which is very, very industrious. So I'll give them a bit of play. And it said, and they titled it, "When Fred Signed for Manchester United." You know, one of them emojis, laughing. And of course, it's me talking for a minute about Fred, saying, I'm really excited to sign Fred. £47 million. We're going to get his best years out of him. He can pass with both feet. He's tenacious. He can score a goal. He can create a goal. But at the time, I believed it. At the time, I believed it. And what my saviour was, is I said, I'm not going to pretend that I watch Ukrainian football, but I have watched him a handful of times for Shakhtar in the Champions League, and I quite like the look of him. But I meant it at the time. There's plenty of bad takes. This Villarreal keeper can't catch, can he? I agree. He won't catch the ball. Most people believed it. I think one of the things that always makes me laugh is that when I see a bad take from me, or whether it's a bad tweet or a bad clip, and people go, "Oh, he's useless. His football takes are terrible." I always look at the date of it, and most of the time it'll be 2 or 3 years old. Sometimes it's 5 or 6 years old. But you know what I always think? I'm like, who are these opinion police who tell you that you've got bad football opinion because you got something wrong a few years ago? Another corner for Liverpool here. Because, like, if you said in December, if I did a video in December saying Mason Greenwood's going to be the greatest player to ever play for England, he's going to eclipse Gaza, Alan Shearer, everything, he's going to be the greatest player in the world, and then someone gets that clip and plays it today, everyone's going to go, "What a fucking idiot! What an idiot! He hasn't got a clue." Well, I didn't know that was going to happen in January, did I? You know, if my mate at school said, "Oh, I went on Jim Will Fix It when I was a kid. What a lovely man. What a lovely man. He can be my godparent to my kids when I'm older." People would be now going, "Oh my God, how could you ever say that?" But nobody knew. Nobody, you know, it's just like you say something a few years ago or a few months ago, and of course things change. But people act like, "Oh my God, you knew that knowledge then." Like, of course it's a bad take, but the context is, you do it because at that point you genuinely believe that thing, and then until you get the counter evidence, it's not like I'm sitting here now going, "Oh, Fred, 50 million quid, what a great signing he's been. We've had the best years out of him. He's got the control of a magnet. He can score with both feet. He's got the creativity of a Zidane. He's got the tackling ability of Kante." You know, if I say it now, I think, you know, shut me down. Mark, do you agree Bellingham is the best young English player about? Says Alex G. Well, you know what? I'm going to be true to my word and say that what I've seen of Bellingham, I think he's fantastic, but I don't watch the Bundesliga. So, and also the Bundesliga is somewhat disappointing, I think, when I do watch it, because Bayern Munich won the title 10 years in a row. So I think Bellingham is very good. I think he needs to get his arse to the Premier League ASAP. So, but 25 minutes and it's 0-0 here. I think Villarreal will be very, very happy so far. Robert says the Fred tape shows that you're a positive thing guy, says Robert. Well, you want to see my Maguire one. I can't bring myself to watch it. Apparently it's been floating around a little bit. my reaction to us signing Harry Maguire. But I tell you what, I'm not going to be like that anymore. You live and learn, don't you? I'm not going to be so trusting of United spending a lot of money anymore. I think I think most United fans are going to be like that. I was talking about Calvin Phillips today, and I said, look, he might be a good signing, but I'm going to say right here, right now, that there are concerns. And I think you know, when your club's been through what we've been through in the last 9 years at United, where we spent over £1 billion, we can't just be fooled by 50, 60, 70 million pound signings now, because it doesn't mean anything if they're no good. Talking hours each day, you're bound to get stuff wrong, says Jack Reed. I get stuff wrong all the time. I'd rather get stuff wrong and learn than research it sometimes. What a shot by Salah, just over the bar. Bit lower, that might have been 1-0. Mark, as an Arsenal fan, I have to say I completely respect your unbiased opinions on Arteta. You're a good guy. Respect, hate United, but you'll be back, says S. Quinlan. Well, I hope so, mate. A lot of rival fans say that. I think it's done to try and make you feel better, but 9 years is a long time to not have a title race. What it does show is that we might have to have another 9. How many years is it since Arsenal won a title? Coming up for 20, isn't it? Was it 2004? So it's it's closer to 20 years than it is 15. 20 years nearly without a title for Arsenal. I think it will be 20 years. I don't think you'll win the title in the next 2 years. So I don't think if you'd said to Arsenal fans at the end of the 2004 season, you're going to be waiting 20 years for your next one, they would have believed you. So anything can happen. Camavinga has to start against City next week, says Farms. Big shout out, Vandy Candy. Welcome to the chat. Just realised I've got 15,000 people watching. Hope you're all enjoying the show. It was a cracker last night. It's not really got going yet. I'm not surprised, but it's a free kick here in a decent position. Coquelin on Trent, and he'll quite like where this is. Hi Mark, what do you think of rumours they will rebuild Old Trafford closer? Damien. He said, this is a great free kick position for Trent, by the way. He says, hi Mark, what do you think of rumours they will rebuild Old Trafford closer to London to be closer to the fan base? Damien, I think it's a funny little joke. It might wind up some United fans. It certainly won't wind me up because I'm from Nottingham and I've never really had any problem with the fact that Manchester United have fans from all around the world, whether it's London, Ireland, Norway, India. It really doesn't matter. He's hit the wall with the free kick, Trent, there. But fair play for a little bit of a joke. It does make me laugh because the reality is that football is such a global sport now, and I've never understood why it bothers people about, oh yeah, you got so many fans from London. So what? At least you got fans. Torres has just gone down here. I think it hit him in the wall. Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. So I think at half time we're going to do one player from each Premier League team you'd sell, but they've got to be a first teamer. I'm not going to do Chelsea and then somebody say, somebody I've never bloody heard of. So we'll do that at half time. I think that'll be quite interesting to do. We're nearly half an hour into this game now, and it's been an interesting sort of half an hour so far. It's gone the way I hoped it would go, but feared it might go, whereby Villarreal are actually doing very, very well. And I think that bodes well for this tie if they can shut Liverpool out. The problem Villarreal are going to have is, can they score goals? Because if they can't score goals, then that'll be a problem for them. Mark, do you know Joss Butler, England captain? No, at cricket. I know who it is, but I don't know him. Which player would you swap Maguire with if you could? Well, that's why I'm watching Pau Torres. Well, it's not why I'm watching Pau Torres, but that's why I've got an eye on Pau Torres tonight, because left-footed left back, potentially ready to leave Villarreal. Had a good few years at Villarreal, playing at the highest level. He's won the Europa League. He's playing in the Champions League semi-final. He's a Spain international. Oh my God, this Villarreal keeper. He's got hands like a trampoline. He just won't. He just will not try and catch it. Cross comes in from Salah. I don't rate this keeper. Don't know what his background is, but I don't rate him. Van Dijk's just fouled Chukwueze there. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. If people are bothered by the fact that United has fans from outside Manchester, what do they think about the players not playing from them either, says Patrick. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. It's something that's been around all my life, you know. How are you not even for... I even get it still now. Sometimes I'll do some work for a different channel or something. Or I'll go on, like, I don't know, Sky or something. And you'll read the comments and people will be like, great Manchester accent. And I'll be like, oh, it's not a Manchester accent because I'm not from Manchester. But it's an odd mentality in 2022 that people think that only London people will support Chelsea or Arsenal, or only Mancunians support Man City or Man United, or only Scousers support Liverpool. Like, I don't actually know. I'd say out of every Liverpool fan I know, less than 5% of them are Scousers. So I only know 2. Figure that out. Trolls treat fans and especially YouTubers as managers or scouts. Of course, a fan would hyper signing. Pep signed Bravo. Jose signed Shevchenko, says Fahad. And hi Mark, who do you think is better right back, Trent, Walker or Reece James, says Gav MUFC. Trent, to be fair. Mane! Oh, I thought that was in. The keeper was beaten. I really don't rate this Villarreal goalkeeper. I don't rate him at all. I don't know loads about him. Someone's probably going to tell me he's the best goalkeeper in Spain, but he reminds me of something, and it ain't a goalkeeper. He jumps around a lot, but he doesn't cover me with any optimism at all. Well, I will do some polls, Shane. Just let me know. Why do Man United fans hate owners so much? They give you plenty of money, mate. Come on, it's the players' fault. End of. Happy Arsenal fans, is Quinlan. Mate, you see, I can't even reply to you on that one because as an outsider, it just reminds me of what Jermaine Genius said when we did the protests a year ago. I don't understand why United fans are protesting because they get loads of money from the Glazers. Yeah, keep your gob shut. You don't understand. If this is our club, we know why we don't like the Glazers. The club is in hundreds of millions of pounds of debt. They're the only owners who take dividends every year, tens of millions of pounds. Yes, they've spent billions on transfers, but we've probably, for every billion they've given us to spend on transfers, they've probably pocketed 2 themselves. So, you know, or we've spent it on bloody interest repayments and stuff like that. So, Villarreal are defending really well here. They've put a lot of blocks in. I mean, Liverpool will probably feel that they could be 1-0 up, but Villarreal are defending really well. Nothing on the attack, though. Everyone in Saudi Arabia supports Newcastle now, says Rakan, and he used to be a Man City player, says Ladia. Good cross by Trent. Oh my God, that cross by Trent to Salah was absolutely delightful. I think he volley crossed it. Watch this back here. First of all, it's a lovely ball from Robertson. Angles it 40 yards. Trent crosses it on the volley into the path of Salah. I mean, to be fair, the ball by Robertson and the cross by Trent is harder than the finish for Salah, who shins it. What a bit of play that would. What a goal that would have been, because it wouldn't have hit the ground in Liverpool's half until it hit the net. Mark, can you please predict Haaland will win the Golden Boot next season like you did for Lukaku and Werner? Oh, I will be. Don't worry, Malavia. That's already my prediction. And it's not that long until I'll be doing it on this channel. Actually, it's not that long until I do my reaction to my predictions, is it? But, you know, going back to, like, the video I did about Fred and Maguire when they signed them. I mean, I don't know what people expect when you sign a player. Like, I don't know who Man City... Well, Man City haven't got a fan channel, have they? Or if they have now, well done, you've bought one. They never used to have one. But, I don't know... When you buy a player, you're not likely to do a video and go, what a load of shit. What a waste of money. I don't want him at our club. Although I did my best with Matic, to be fair. Mark, would you risk walking alone in Liverpool, says Damien? Yeah, I'd put a hoodie on, it'd be fine. United scouting 804 right backs and ending up with Wan-Bissaka is like travelling the world for your soulmate and ending up marrying your cousin, says Hector. I almost feel like I need to say that with a straight face because I think it's clippable and I think Hector's put a lot of work into that. So let me read it again. United scouting 804 right backs and ending up with Wan-Bissaka is like travelling the world to find your soulmate, then marrying your cousin. I think I did it justice there, Hector. Wasn't my joke. Have you done an 11 for the last remaining teams in the Champions League? Yes, we have done it, Jordan. You've obviously not been tuning in much. Villarreal trying to get a bit of a momentum going here. Still 10 minutes to go to half time. Strong play, but Mane wins. There we go. A few tackles going in now. Don't give it back to the keeper. Oh, it's a terrible kick out. Yeah, Matu makes a good point. What were Arsenal fans like when they got Pepe? Yeah. There you go. I tell you what, if you're looking for something to go viral on TikTok or Twitter or something like that, go and find an Arsenal fan's reaction to Pepe. Just clip up 30 seconds of them saying he's going to be the best thing ever. You've got 200,000 views. Man United 490 million in debt according to last earnings release, says Sean Finity. And although I'm burying myself here, I really don't give a shit. I guarantee my reaction to signing Lukaku was brilliant as well. Who else have we bought that's shit? Agallo. I bet I said something positive about that. Delo. Eric Bailly. Paul Pogba. I bet I said something about Paul Pogba. I bet on the reaction to Paul Pogba, I bet I said we're gonna win the league or something stupid like that. But you do that. Alexis Sanchez will be the worst. Alexis Sanchez will be the worst because I was so gloating about getting him from Arsenal. I dread to think what I said in the Alexis Sanchez one. But you're always going to be a bit positive, aren't you? Harry Maguire one I've seen. Fred I've done. Yeah. Here he's again. He's bloody rubbish. Oh my God. Trampoline hands. It's like he's handling a bar of soap. I think he thinks he thinks that this football is covered in bloody cyanide or something. He won't touch it. It's up in the air to catch and he goes like that. Rui has got 13 clean sheets in La Liga, second most as Game Pro. Yeah, I don't disbelieve you. In fact, I know you're probably right because Villarreal don't concede many goals, but I've never seen a goalkeeper who don't want to catch it. He should be playing volleyball. He does get a lot of clean sheets. That's the great thing. But imagine him in the Premier League. Just shows you league specific. You don't get many crosses into that. Well, to be honest, when we bought David De Gea, he was terrible on crosses. Some people would say he probably still is, but he's a lot better now. Yeah, imagine. You don't ever buy this goalkeeper if you're a Premier League manager. $40 minutes gone, 0-0. We're going to be doing one Premier League player each club should sell in the summer. They've got to be a starter, so get ready for that. Thomas says, you should make these clips yourself. Oh, I can't be arsed. It's not really my thing. The Cavani video aged well. I was right. Clip that up. That needs clipping up. My reaction to the Cavani signing needs bloody... Well, it wasn't even the signing, was it? It was the one where I said I'd rather... I haven't seen that. I saw that when he was scoring goals against Southampton. I haven't seen it in the last few months. So that's a great example, actually. It only comes out when it makes you when people want you to make you look an idiot. Where is that Cavani clip now? Where I'm going, I'd rather have Josh King. Oh, look at this clip of Goldbridge saying he'd rather have Josh King than Cavani. What an idiot. He's got such bad football takes. I can't believe so many people watch him. He'd rather have Josh King than Cavani. What a complete and utter prat. Oh, he's just scored 2 goals against Southampton. What a great load of rubbish. I haven't seen it in the last 4 months when it's relevant. Thiago's just hit an absolute banger, by the way. That would have been... That would have been goal of the bloody Champions League. He's hit it from about 30 yards, dead straight, and it's hit the bloody bar. Oh, that would have been world class. Hi Mark, been seeing a lot of news recently about a new independent regulator for football. Not sure if you've spoken on it. What's your thoughts, says Cypher? I've not really looked into it, really, mate, to be honest. Mark, you should do a top disrespected players on social media 11 someday, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. Mark, can you commentate in a roadman accent, says Loading Fire? I don't know what one of those is. If you'd asked me a few weeks ago, I could have done it in a top boy accent, because I'm very good at falling into, if I'm watching something or spending my time around somebody with an accent, I will start doing it. But I was sat at the dinner table like... telling Seb to allow it and calling him fam a few weeks ago, but allow it fam, but no, I wouldn't know. I can't believe you're putting tomato ketchup on your Sunday dinner, Seb. Allow it, fam. Allow it. Thoughts on Konate? Dylan, I mean, my only reservation about Konate when we were linked to him a year ago was his injury record was a bit dodgy at Leipzig, but I don't think it's been a bit dodgy at Liverpool. Maybe Liverpool fans can let me know about that, but I think he's a good signing for Liverpool. They've got some very good centre-backs. I do think Joe Gomez is decent, but obviously Van Dijk and Matip I think are fantastic. But fair play to Konate for playing. Megs, Robertson's just megsed him. He's lost it now. Villarreal just can't get out of their half here. Cavani was a huge factor getting us top 4 last season. Had we not signed him for this season, we'd all question that decision. Yet I don't know what went wrong, says Jack. Yeah, it is a shame what happened, really. Hi Mark, if in 3 years Ten Hag doesn't work out, what then? Hire another world-class manager? More recruitment? Let's not think about it, Metafilm. Let's just give this time and hope it works. What do you think about the new Champions League rules in the news today? Looks like it's slowly turning into the Super League, says Ronnie. Yeah, I think football is... I was reading about Formula 1 today as well. There's lots of tension amongst the teams and the FIA as well. Just seems that in the modern day, FIFA, Premier League... UEFA, FIA, any other sports organisations, they're just about getting as much money and audience as they can. And what Salah's in, good save by the keeper there. He still doesn't want to pick it up. Yeah, I think it's just all about money all the time. Hi Mark, are you doing a watch along for the Formula 1 in Miami? Says Rappalarano. I probably will do. I'm not going to do every Formula 1 watch along, I don't think, because there'll be times where I'm busy doing other stuff, but it's 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, so I'll probably watch it, yeah. Condiment says, I've just woken up. Who's been the better team? The better team thus far has been Liverpool, but Villarreal have defended pretty well. Although I must admit, their keeper is giving me nightmares. But it feels like Liverpool will score at some point. But not yet. Who do you think is going to win the Europa League? It depends who's in it. Leipzig, probably. Yeah, I'd probably go with Leipzig in that one. I found love, so don't fight it. Life is a roller coaster. Fast typing here. It's getting the sort of half-time topic tweeted out there. There we go. Not been on the old Twitter a lot this half. There's not been a lot of big action. With the best incidents have been in the chat. Come on, Villarreal. That's half-time. Literally half-time there. So it's half-time. It's 0-0. There's not a lot to report. It's defence against attack. And I suppose, you know, as somebody that admittedly doesn't want Liverpool to win, I'm pretty pleased with what Villarreal have done. I'm not surprised. It's not pretty. This is what Villarreal do. They did it to Bayern Munich. They did it to United in the Europa League final. They are a team that thrive on keeping a clean sheet or keeping it tight and nicking a goal. And at the moment, they're keeping Liverpool at bay. Villarreal's ultimate aim, I don't think... Someone needs to tell Villarreal that away goals aren't in it anymore, because they're definitely at Anfield trying to keep a clean sheet. United to win the treble next year or dissolve United stand, says Aaron. Yeah, United have a bright future beyond football. You have a bright future... South Holland says, you've got a bright future beyond football. I'd definitely like to hear your TV reviews. Something to ponder, says South Holland. I've done like James Bond before, and if I'd watched Batman quick enough, I'd like to have done a review of that, but I only watched it last week. Mark, you said you think it's not long till Liverpool score, but that's what Villarreal like. They wait and wait, then have one chance and win. Oh, that's what Ian says. Being a Hibs fan, I'd still like to see Rangers win the Europa League. It would be great for Scottish football, in my opinion, says Jack. I think West Ham are doing the right thing. We're going to do one player from each Premier League team that they should sell this summer in a moment. But just before we do that, I think that winning the Europa... I think West Ham are doing the right thing. I think that they have to prioritise the Europa League. It's really difficult at this time of the season to try and focus on anything else because... you're playing Thursday, Sunday. It's very difficult. I remember United doing this when we won it with Ajax, won it against Ajax. Mourinho was basically putting our reserves out in the league and gave up on top four. So I haven't got a problem with that. But it's very difficult to see West Ham winning the tournament. I think they've done really well to get to the semi-final. I don't think it was easy to beat Sevilla, if I'm absolutely honest with you. And I do believe that. But I do believe that. Out of Eintracht Frankfurt and who's left in the tournament, I do think it will end up being Leipzig. They look like the better team at the moment. United so have done that one. Okay. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Right, let's do one Premier League team. One player from each Premier League team that should be sold this summer. I need to get a league table up going here. So half-time 0-0. We've spoken about that. We'll be back with that when the game starts. So we like to have a bit of a topic at half-time. So it's got to be a first-team player to start off with. First-team player, one player from every Premier League team. Well, as far down as we can get that you would sell. So what first-team player from Manchester City, we'll go down the league table. I'll get it up here. What first-team player from Manchester City should they sell this summer? It's got to be a first teamer, and by first teamer I mean they've played over 20. They've been involved in over 20 Premier League games. So yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Kyle Walker says Jack, the goalkeeper. Interesting. Sterling. A lot of people saying Sterling. A lot of people saying Sterling. A lot of people saying Jesus. So some people saying Grealish, which is just unrealistic. Yeah, we're not selling Stefan. I told you. We're not doing these fringe players. It makes it boring. So I'm going to say Sterling. We're going to go with Sterling from Man City. What about Liverpool? What would you say from Liverpool? Who would you go for from Liverpool? Who would you get rid from there? From their first team at Liverpool? I would say from Liverpool. I would say welcome to the Members Club, by the way. Undertaker. Who would I say from Liverpool? It's hard, you know. The harder it is, the easier it is to say what a decent team there are. Firmino. Yeah, Firmino's a good one, yeah. Origi's not first team enough. I think we'll go Firmino there. That's a good one. Chelsea. What about Chelsea? Now, I think Chelsea for me, and I'm probably going to get loads of Chelsea fans going, Goldbridge knows football. Jorginho. Definitely Jorginho at Chelsea. I think there's a few. Lukaku as well. But I don't think Lukaku's going to get sold in the summer. I think he's going to get loaned. So I think Jorginho needs to go because he's had a good season last year. But they need to move him on. And I'd say Jorginho is more important than Lukaku. But they've got to do something with Lukaku, so I agree, Lukaku or Jorginho. In fourth place, we've got Arsenal, Lacazette. I'm going to start chucking names out now, then you can see if you can agree. Lacazette at Arsenal. Any alternatives? Any alternatives there? We've done Chelsea. Lack of threats. Yeah. Yeah, so I'd say Jorginho or Lukaku at Chelsea. Lacazette at Arsenal. I mean, to be honest, if you want to be a team that's going to improve, I might say Xhaka as well. But I'd certainly Pepe's a good shout as well. Spurs. I mean, I'm thinking the word defence at Spurs for some reason. They've got a very good front three. Midfield ain't too bad. I think they need get rid of that Emerson. Yeah, get rid of Emerson. Davies, a lot of people saying Davies. Eric Dyer's got a few mentions. Emerson's the winner there by a long way. Okay, Spurs. Is it United next? Are we next? Yeah, I think we are. United. Wow. How long's the list? If it's one player from the first team that United need to sell who's not going to leave, I'd be interested to see what the chat says. There's a few Maguires. There's a couple of Rashfords. There's a few Brunos. The vast majority are going for Maguire, okay. Next, we've got West Ham. Who should West Ham be selling out of their first team? This is where it starts to become a little bit difficult for me because I can't say I watch a lot of West Ham to know what their weaknesses are. I mean, I know what West Ham's team is, but I don't really know much about where their big weaknesses are. A few people saying Cresswell, Fabianski, Zuma. I'd like to apologise to you because I tweeted negative things about you, but I was wrong. I'm sorry. Cheers, mate. No shame to apologise when wrong. No, Nabil, thank you very much. Appreciate that. All I would say is don't believe everything you read. There's a lot of bitter and jealous people out there who don't actually watch the content that we do. But, you know, thank you very much. It's always nice when people are nice. Fredericks, says Stephen. People are still saying Maguire. They just can't type it enough. He doesn't play for West Ham. We'll get down to Watford and they'll be saying Maguire. I think we're struggling here with relation to West Ham. A few people are saying Yarmolenko. There's not really a standout one. If anything, I'd say Fabianski or Cresswell. Maguire's still there. So we'll go Fabianski there. I think he's had a few more. So after West Ham, we've got Wolves. I mean, to be honest with you, from a purely you need a cutting edge, I'd probably say Jimenez. I know that's harsh and you can never do it because he's had a serious injury, but I probably would say Jimenez for Wolves because defensively they're quite a good team. But I haven't watched loads of Wolves this season, but every time I do watch them, especially at the start of the season, they were missing so many chances. Remember at the start of the season, I think they lost their first 3 games, but Spurs got 3 points from. I think they scored a penalty, and they missed loads. They were creating. I think Wolves could have had a. I think Wolves are. If they weren't so boring, and what I mean, I'm sticking up for Wolves here. Wolves don't get any attention at all, do they? But if you look at the league table, right, Wolves have got 49 points. But I can think of easily 10 points that Wolves should have had at the start of the season. Like, they dropped so many points where they dominated teams but couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Even if they had another 6 points, they'd be 6th fighting for 4th. So Wolves have definitely underachieved this season because they haven't put the ball in the back of the net. So for me, it would be Jimenez. A few people are saying Semedo, Neves to make the money, says SJ. That's not a bad idea. Some people were saying that about Declan Rice, sell him to make the money. It doesn't always have to be a negative thing. Fabio Silva's been mentioned as well. He's turned into a right waste of money, hasn't he? But yeah, okay. So who's after Wolves? I mean, amazingly, after Wolves, it's Newcastle, who are in 9th place. You could almost say Newcastle shouldn't sell anybody because they've worked wonders under Eddie Howe. But there must be somebody at Newcastle that really needs to be sold. Can anybody in the chat enlighten us? Because they have done very well this season. Newcastle got Leicester coming up next as well. Wood, send him back to Burnley. Wood and Deitch. No, I'm not there anymore. Tell him, send him round. We'll have a Sunday lunch and we'll take Shep for a walk and we'll talk about good old times over a pint of Guinness and a bag of port scratchings and gravel for him. Callum Wilson, I think that's a really good point by Andorra's Revenge. Very injury prone. And yeah, Callum Wilson's a good shout, really. Get rid of him. Mark, worst Liverpool bias, pundit Hansen or Souness, says Joseph. Hansen's so long ago, so I'll probably say Souness for recency. Recency, is that a word? Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right hand corner, we're only 100 away from 662,000. We're getting closer and closer to the dreaded 666. When's the Hell in a Cell match, says Adrift. I've already done a Hell in a Cell match, haven't I? I did that with Deitch. It's on my YouTube channel. I don't know how many views that got. I haven't even looked at it. Okay, so we're doing Leicester next. Callum Wilson is the vote. So at Leicester, who would you sell from Leicester? Tillemans is going to go anyway. Is it time to get rid of Johnny Evans? I think Leicester need a bit of transformation, don't they? Is it time to get rid of Hardy? Is it time for a new start? Is it time to get rid of Albrighton? Is it time to get rid of Sionku? A few people saying get rid of Sionku. Evans, Vardy's getting a mention as well. Perez is getting a mention. There's quite a few with Perez. Quite a few for Sionku as well. Well, it's Sionku, I'm afraid. He's the one. He's got it. He's got the vote. Thoughts on Villareal defensively thus far, says Addict. They've done very well. It's interesting about Sionku, though, isn't it? Because a year ago, a lot of people were saying that United bought the wrong centre-back and we should take Sionku. He's had a bloody nightmare. He was awful in the Euros, wasn't he? Brighton. Who do Brighton need to sell? Well, I think they need to sell Basuma for selfish reasons. I think he's a player that needs to move on. Morpay's had a quiet season as well, hasn't he? They need a striker. Get Kent in. They do need a striker there at Brighton. I think Potter does a great job, but they do need a striker. A few people saying Marpay. A few people saying Basuma. Welbeck as well. Lallana. He's not done very well either, has he? There's Brighton at times have had a really good season. At other times they're just a bit inconsistent, aren't they? But yeah, 184,000 views on Hell in a Cell with Sean Deitch. Oh, I need to do another one, Fab. I found a winning formula. I was going to do one with Harry Maguire, but it's just not the time, is it? Imagine that, doing like a ladders, table and chairs and choke slamming him off the top. People will just go, you're a hater. It's a computer game. It's a bit of fun. You're condoning violence. Right, Cucurella's a fantastic player at Brighton. I wouldn't be selling him, Alex, unless he's going to another club. I think he's fantastic. Forget about Newcastle, regardless of funds. The perennial brothers like Spurs and perennial bottlers like Spurs and Everton, says Dalmo. Ooh, that's fighting talk, that is. Right, we've done Leicester. We've done the Brighton. Brentford. I don't think they need to sell anybody, do they? I mean, they're 12th in the league. They've hit 40 points with 4 games to spare. They're mid-table. I don't watch Brentford enough to tell you who they need to sell. Maybe Tony to generate a bit of funds. Mark, what's the best non-Man United goal you've ever seen, says Daniel M. Well, I'm fortunate enough, or maybe not fortunate enough, to be old enough to remember Marco van Basten scoring in the 88 Euros. Was it against Russia? What a goal. And I think it was the final, wasn't it? I mean, I was very young, but I do just about remember it. And I just think that I don't think the TV does it justice. In fact, I'm going to get it up on my phone now. It's made me want to look at it. It's probably about 18,000 people typing Van Basten volley into YouTube. Here it is. Dinks it up. Oh my God. It is. He's sort of far right, level with the 6-yard box. It's just delightful. Yeah. And I tell you what, the horrible thing is, they just haven't got the camera angles to show it. Imagine if they had a camera angle behind it. Oh, it's just delightful. Absolutely delightful. The technique on it was brilliant. Zlatan's goal was great. It was, but that's just always the one that comes to mind for me. And also, Zlatan's was done in a friendly. That's done in a Euros final. If United signed Neymar, do you believe it would be a disaster? Says Tyler Wilson. Yeah, he's not the right sort of player. He's not the right player for the now. Anyway, second half's about to start. Villarreal about to kick it off. 45 minutes to go. I'm sure they'll be over the moon with 0-0 at Anfield. Liverpool really will want to take a lead, and we're off second half. Thanks everyone for all your inputs. Mark, USSR is not Russia. This ain't a geography or history lesson either. I failed both in GCSE, so blame it on my education or my lack of trying. All I basically did at secondary school, because I was convinced I was going to be a footballer, what a prat. All I did is have school reports with people say, "Oh, Pau Torres nearly scored an own goal then, bloody hell." All I got told was he's going to waste his life, he's wasting his career, he needs to work, all he ever talks about is football. And I'd just sit there saying, well, I'm going to play for Man United. And I never did. So make sure you work hard at school. When I was doing chemistry or stuff like that, I'd be sat at the back with my Match magazine or my Shoot magazine with my mates going, for 2 points, who scored the second goal for Crystal Palace in their 2-2 draw at Highbury this weekend? Wrong. It was Chris Armstrong. That's all I used to do. Always just talking about football. Which has probably helped me in this career. EA did Van Basten dirty in FIFA. Absolute legend of the game, but is a bit big, stiff dosser in Ultimate Team, says Damo. Mate, am I surprised? Am I surprised that FIFA coders have fucked up one of the greatest strikers I've ever seen? Hi Mark, love your content, United stand and here. I never had funds, to be honest, so all these watch-alongs have been truly blessing in the pandemic era. Really appreciate you putting so much effort from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Safi, and thank you very much for the super chat there. Keane says, I'm doing the same and I want to get somewhere with football. I tell you what, the only thing I would... looking back on it, I know exactly... Liverpool have got a free kick here on the... It's not a shooter, it's a crosser. Right on the edge of the box on the far right-hand side. Trent and Robertson are on it. I was looking back on myself at 14, I was playing at quite a decent level. I had a couple of trials, but I was never going to make it. At the time, I thought I was going to make it, but I was never going to make it. And I know the reason why I was not going to make it, and I'll tell you in a minute. Cross comes in from Trent. Headed away... Headed away now. Still got it. See what happens with this. Slip. Salah's in. Gives it into Trent. Robertson's the ball. Back to Trent. I have to come back here. Yeah, the reason I didn't make it is not because I didn't have talents. It's because I thought I was going to make it through a fairy tale. I thought someone was going to go, he's got potential, let's build our team around him. And actually what you need to have is total self-belief and confidence. And I just didn't believe in myself enough on the pitch. And I didn't have enough people around me to give me that belief. So if you can get that sort of thing around you and in your mentality, you'll give yourself a bigger chance. I don't have regrets. No, I don't have any regrets at all. But, you know, you can just... When you get to a certain age, you can look back on your younger self and realise certain things were never going to happen. And I wish it had, but I don't have any regrets. I didn't even get to play for an academy, James. I had trials. The best trial I had was Northampton Town, and I did quite well in it. But we were playing against their academy players, and even now I look back on it and go, I had a good game, but I didn't stand out head and shoulders better than what they already had. And the coach said exactly that to me afterwards. He said, you know, maybe come back in 6 months. You had a good trial, but you're not massively better than what we've got. And it's cutthroat. It's cutthroat. They're looking for something better than what they've got a lot of the time. I know a lot of people who play academy football now, and goal for Liverpool. Oh, he's offside. He's offside from the corner. I know a lot of people who play academy football, and I'm no word of a lie. You can be training with a certain team's academy, and in late May, you'll get a text message saying, "Sorry, we don't need you for next season." It's really cutthroat. You know, it's robotically cutthroat. I've been in America for 10 years and still not found anyone to talk about football with, so thank you for these streams, says Lilia. Thank you very much for tuning in, pal. Red Scope plays for Newcastle. Well, good luck to anyone who is pursuing it as a career, because to make it at any level of professional football, you've got to have put the work in. William says that Paul Torres is class. Well, he's not doing himself any harm, has he, so far? Hot water. Britain's Got Talent. I like hot water. You know, whatever. Best grade in school, Mark? Oh, Mark's asked me that. I'm embarrassed by my school grades. I've said it before, I am embarrassed by them, but they've always been enough to get me where I needed to be, but they're crap. Basically, I got 4 GCSEs, and the best grade I got was C. Absolutely. I'm way more intelligent than that. I messed up big time. Really did. And I went on and did qualifications, you know, got all sorts of qualifications older in the finance world and stuff like that, but my basic GCSEs was shite. Really, really bad. And people think I'm university educated. Like, most people would always say to me, you're middle class bloody university boy and all this. And I've never, the only thing I've been to at university is a bloody student union bloody pub or whatever. I've never been to uni. Educated in the game of life. Worked in cheese factories. Been a bricklayer. Delivered papers. Been a welder. Headed straight at the keeper there from Diaz. I've done most things, actually. Get your education. If you're in education, get your education. It's one of my biggest regrets. But I don't have regrets. But I should have done better. You went on to be a success in life regardless because you're a strong character with drive who works hard, says Dalmo. Look, pretty much from the age of about 18 to now, I've worked hard in everything that I've done, and in all aspects of my life. I have no regrets, but... Oh, it's a goal! I have some regrets about that! It's Henderson, and I tell you what, you wouldn't add and believe it. I told you that goalkeeper. What did I say about that goalkeeper? He's a bloody prat. 1-0 Liverpool. What did I say about that keeper? He's absolutely useless. He belongs in a volleyball team. He's let this team down from minute one. It's a cross. It's a cross that goes in. It's Henderson. You won't believe this. Henderson's on the wide. He puts the cross in. It deflects over the keeper. It's very fortuitous. It hits the studs. Keeper's crap. He's rubbish. Even though it deflects, he's got a full hand on it and tipped it into his own bloody net. He's not even a good volleyball player. And now the floodgates could open. 53 minutes. Liverpool have got their goal. They'll be going for the throat now. It's a lucky goal, but on the balance of play, you say Liverpool probably deserve to be 1-0 up. There's been a few close shaves. And now Villarreal have got to try and attack a little bit more. And that should play into Liverpool's hands. They've got nothing. They've got nothing, Villarreal. You can go to university and still be a bumbling buffoon. Just look at Downing Street, says Joshua. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Henderson, it wasn't a goal for Henderson, it's an own goal because he was putting a cross in and it hit the studs of the Villarreal player. Looped up, but the keeper should still save it. Mark, did you ever get on the school bus back in the day and clip your mates with a card, says David Taylor? I don't remember doing that, mate. Two! 2-0. Mane! They fell apart. It's game over, I'm afraid. They've absolutely fell apart. It's unbelievable how you can be defensive for 45 minutes and well organised, concede because your keeper's crap, and then concede again. They've just fell apart here. I think one of their players has decided he's had enough as well. Salah into Mane. Trent with the pass. Salah. I think Mane might be onside there. They might have to have a look at it. He could be off. He might be offside, but lovely play by Salah. What an assist by Salah that is. That's delightful. He megs Torres. Keeper again should be out quicker. The keeper's cost him here. It might be offside. It looked close. We'll see. Am I the only one who wants to see Torres playing in a high line because even Maguire looks good when England park the bus like this, says Robel. Yeah, good point. Very good point. Torres got megged in the build-up. And it is 2-0. It was onside. I'm sorry to say, I think this tie's over. I don't see Villarreal coming back from 2-0. In fact, I think Liverpool will just go for 3 now. Maybe 3 or 4 and just kill it off. I mean, Villarreal haven't had a sniff. They haven't had a sniff. Racing Guy says Liverpool are in the Champions League final now. Anfield's rocking. I mean, they're still on for a quadruple. I don't want to whisper it at all. They're still on for a bloody quadruple. And can I just say to Liverpool fans, if you win the Champions League, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, don't say it's a treble for your own credibility. Don't say it's a treble. It's a treble, but it's not the treble. So you got to win the league. You got to win the Champions League and you got to win the FA Cup. And if you do that, you've already won the Carabao Cup, so you've beat it anyway because it's a quadruple. So you've got to win. The treble has to have the league and the Champions League in it. And the best treble is the Champions League, the FA Cup and the Premier League because they're the 3 best trophies you can win. Didn't Liverpool do a treble before? Didn't they do the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup and the UEFA Cup and tried to say that was a treble as well? You've got to do the proper one. And if you do the proper one, you'll beat ours anyway because you've already won the Carabao Cup, so you'll have done the quadruple. You'll have made history. I'm sure any Liverpool fan would take any treble at this point. Hi Mark, Evertonian, what's your thoughts on us, says Matty Fisher. I do think you'll stay up. I do think you stay up. I think I did a poll on the weekend and people were saying that they think Burnley will stay up, but I've looked at your fixtures and I think you've got a run of 3 games at home. I think you got like Brentford at home and somebody else. I think, and you've got Watford away. I think Everton will find enough points to stay up. But you do need to sort your midfield out. You can't play a midfield of Iwobi and Alan and Delph. Will Liverpool be bigger than us if they win the quadruple, says Jet? Yeah. If Liverpool win the quadruple, they'll go down as the best Premier League side ever. Yeah. And they'll probably go down as the best team ever, because Liverpool nearly won a treble before. I think it was 1977. It was before I was born. They won the League Cup, they won the FA Cup, and they won the they won the League Cup, and I think United beat them in the final in 77 of the FA Cup. Otherwise, no, they won the Champions League, they won the league, and United beat them in the FA Cup. That treble is very hard to do. Salah went down there. Some people saying it was a penalty. I think if it was in the Prem, it would have been given. European refs aren't going to be persuaded. Somebody said, why is it over if they can keep it to 2-0? I just don't think Villarreal are capable of scoring 2 goals. As a United fan, I would take any trophy at this point, says Nemo. Yeah. Mark, would you take the winning the Conference League right now as a United fan, says Marcus? Well, he's caught the ball. The Villarreal keeper's just come out and caught the ball. It took him an hour and he's realised he can catch it. I think he's just had a message saying you can catch the ball. I think he thinks it's a handball if he does that. Would I take winning the Conference League? Well, it's winning something. But it's we'd get bantered for it. I mean, in fairness, the Conference League is what the Cup Winners' Cup used to be. Let it go! Let it go! Oh, they're crap, Villarreal. Absolutely crap. Who is that crap twat then? He gets the ball in the box and just passes it to Canate. They're a bloody shambles, I'm telling you. Yeah, they used to win... winning the Cup Winners' Cup. United won the Cup Winners' Cup in 91. So the FA Cup... Oh my God, they're a joke, Villarreal. They're as bad as bloody Real Madrid. Thanks, Mark. You really are entertaining, dude. I love your content. Love your Super Bowl and the boxing, says AJ and his dad. Thanks, pal. Appreciate the super chat. Hope you're doing well. That was Dan Juma. Don't bring him to United. Crap twat. Mourinho's treble with Inter in 2010 is somewhat underrated. Our treble in 2000 was great, but Mickey Mouse, says Damo. Yeah, I'm only talking about English clubs. But yeah, you used to get into... Europe used to be very different. European Cup used to be for the league winner. That was it. No top four, none of that bollocks. Top four didn't used to go into the European Cup. It was just the winner of the league. FA Cup used to go into the Cup Winners' Cup. So people say that the Conference League is the equivalent of the Cup Winners' Cup. It's not. Because the Conference League is the winner of the fucking Carabao Cup, isn't it? Something like that. The Conference League's a joke. Although it will be interesting tomorrow night, because I think Roma are playing Leicester, aren't they? Harry says, I think Liverpool will win the quadruple. I don't know. I don't know, because I don't see a game. Where is City going to lose? Ed Woodward destroyed United. He should have gotten Klopp. Ed Woodward had an ego, and that ego is gone. That's why we are seeing improvements, says Nabil. I tell you what, I'm doing a watch-along on Saturday lunchtime, Newcastle against Liverpool. I think that might be a potential title decider. Because Newcastle have been playing really well lately. And Liverpool need to go there and win. Who was your favourite Bond and Bond movie, says John Richardson. View to a Kill. Roger Moore. Hello, Alan. I'm Roger Moore. Looking at you with a view to a kill. Dun, 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 dun. I think Christopher Walken's just such a crazy Bond baddie in that one. But no, it's not. It's not my favourite James Bond. I like The Spy Who Loved Me as well. I do like Roger Moore. Oh, for fuck's sake! He's offside, Robertson. Thank God for that. What a goal that would have been. Trent whips a cross in and Robertson just taps it in. I mean, I'll give some credit to the Villarreal defence if they play the offside trap here. Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, they played the trap, to be fair. I loved Daniel Craig as Bond. I thought he was brilliant. I mean, one of the things I would say, if it's a Liverpool-Man City final, I don't know who I want to win. Normally I'd say Man City, but I do quite like the song, Champions of Europe, You'll Never Sing That. I do like rewatching all the Daniel Craig James Bonds as well. And I like the Bourne trilogy as well, you know. I do like watching them. Mark, watch the John Wayne Merzers on Netflix, says AJ and his dad. Any good? City don't have to lose, they can draw and Liverpool will go top on goal difference, says Nick. Yes, good point. They've got to keep winning. Poll on the better career, Mourinho or Ancelotti, says Robble. I'll do a poll for you if you want. Good tackle again. See, Van Dijk and Konate have just been so dominant. There's a poll there for you. Who's had the better career as a manager, Mourinho or Ancelotti? Although I'm not a firm believer in the whole football goes in cycles, I'm not a firm believer in that, because I've had an argument with a few United fans saying that, well, you know, we've had all our good years, you've got to put up with the bad years. I totally disagree with that, because if you're anti-Glazers, you can't just accept that we're going through a bad patch. We're going through a sabotage patch. Like, United should never be going through 10 years without a title. Bayern Munich won't go through 10 years without a title. Juventus won't. Barcelona won't. Real Madrid won't, because they're massive clubs that will make sure they stay at the top. So I do not accept that United are going through a cycle of a bad time because they've had a cycle of good time. That's not what's happened. But we're talking about Liverpool. You can begrudge Liverpool's success because I don't like Liverpool, they're our biggest rival. But they hadn't won a Premier League title in 30 years. They'd had a lot of bad times. And that Champions League they won in 2005 was a bit of a bolt from the blue. That keeper is rubbish. Van Dijk's just shot from 40 yards and he's just volleyballing it back into... He's rubbish. Absolute shit. I don't know what this keeper's on. But it's another corner here. So yeah, look, it's not nice that Liverpool are having success, but it was nice when they weren't for 30 years. Player rating for this goalkeeper, 2. I said it at 0-0, he was crap. There's a lady behind Trent Alexander-Arnold and she's got a pink Liverpool scarf on. I'm not saying there's any problem with that, but have they ever had a pink kit? Why would you not just buy a red one? Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Our next watch along is going to be Liverpool against Newcastle on Saturday lunchtime, by the way. We're only 200 subscribers away from 663,000. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Liverpool won the league 2 years ago, says Save Burrito. Oh my God. Do you have to be spoon fed your dinner? Bloody hell. That's what I'm up against sometimes. I just want to cry. I want Madrid to win it all for Benzema, says Silu. And Mark, I'd like to see City win the Champions League just so Guardiola would leave. And they thought, Kai, you make a great point. He is obsessed by winning the Champions League. And I do wonder, once Pep's won the Champions League at Man City, I'm sure he'll stay around for a year or two, but is the fire going to start to go out there? Mark, don't let Alan Brazil lead you astray at TalkSport. I hear he likes a pint or 17 after hanging up the headphones for the day, says Delmo. I don't know how Alan Brazil's still with us. It's unbelievable, but fair play to him. Do you think Eddie Howe could be a title-winning manager if he remains at Newcastle for 5 years? Says Sushra. No. No, I don't think Eddie Howe's on the same level as a Klopp or a Pep or a Tuchel. I think he might be able to take Newcastle to 4th place, but I don't think he'll be able to take them any higher than that. I think Newcastle know that, and I think Eddie Howe knows that. I mean, Eddie Howe's career was... What a take by Salah, good tackle. Eddie Howe had a good reputation at Bournemouth, and then he was out of football. He's now come back to Newcastle, and he's got a good reputation in football again. I think Eddie Howe, if he got sacked by Newcastle in a couple of years because they want to be title winners and he can't take them to that, I can see Eddie Howe getting sacked as Newcastle manager because they're 6th. That's how quick Newcastle's expectations are going to go up under these owners. And people say, well, you can't sack Eddie Howe finishing 6th with Newcastle. But if Pep or Klopp finished 6th with Liverpool or Man City, they'd get sacked, potentially. I'm just saying that Newcastle's expectations soon will be that. So... But if Eddie Howe does get the sack from Newcastle, there'll be loads of clubs that want him. Mark, who's better, Matip or Canate, says JPLFC. Well, I think it's Matip. Ancelotti, well, this is wrong. This poll is wrong. Who's had the better career, Mourinho or Ancelotti? 69% have gone with Mourinho. That poll is wrong. Not because Mourinho's won, but it's not a 70-30. There's no way it's a 70-30, so that's wrong. But it just shows you Mourinho hype. He's a good manager, but he's not 70-30% better than Ancelotti's career. Right, either or. Canate, Matip. Go. Get your votes in. That's for JPLFC, who's asked for that one. It's all about opinion. Yes, it is all about opinion, the real G. And my fucking opinion is that poll's wrong. I love people who say it's all about opinion, and then you go, yeah, it is. And my opinion, it's wrong. Oh, no, but it's about opinion. Yeah, it is about opinion. Democracy has spoken. There's thousands of votes. But I don't think that you can say that Jose Mourinho's managerial career is better than Carlo Ancelotti's when I'm about to read you out what Carlo Ancelotti's managerial career as honours is this. He has won... He's won Serie A with Roma once. He's won it 3 times, twice with AC Milan. 4 times with AC Milan. He's won the Premier League with Chelsea. He's won the Bundesliga. He's won the Champions League with Real Madrid. He's won the Champions League with AC Milan twice as well. I mean, his career is ridiculously hard to read because he's done it so many times. He's won the European Cup, though that was as a player. So he's won loads. He's won loads of things. I do think Mourinho is probably had a better career, but I don't think it's 70-30 better. Interesting vote going on with Matip and Canate. 58% going with Matip at the moment. Did you prefer the Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett? Says Job. Well, the Book of Boba Fett basically was the Mandalorian part 2, wasn't it? So I preferred the Mandalorian, yeah. Champions League with Porto is the trump card. You're probably right. Ancelotti got Everton a win at Anfield, says AJ and his dad. The trump card could be that Ancelotti was a brilliant footballer as well. No, I think I do agree that Mourinho has the better CV, but it's close. And what I'm saying is I don't think it's a 70-30. That makes it seem, 70% against 30% is offensive to Ancelotti. I think it's more 55-45. Are United players' poor mentalities beyond repair, says Seelu? Oh, find out. Gonna find out in the next few years. It's about the structure. It's about the players. It's about the structure. It's about the players. I look at Man United and I think, Villarreal is shite. Absolutely shite. I said this. They've got to keep clean sheets because they never bloody score. They've not had one good chance in 75 minutes. If they keep it to 2-0, they've maybe got a chance in Spain, with the home support. But yeah, they've not done anything, have they? Jota's just gone into a Villareal player here. And there's a very good point here from Alson. He says that Man City versus Liverpool is the right final, to be honest. Best teams in Europe at the moment. And as hard as it is to say, that is probably going to be the correct statement. I think Liverpool and Man City are going to be the two best teams in Europe this season. And I don't want it to be the case, but I think you're right. Do you not think Howe can become a top manager, says Jack? Well, I think he is a top manager. I just don't think he can become a world-class manager. I don't think he can become Klopp or Pep or Tuchel. I don't think he's on that level. And I think ultimately Newcastle will move him on for a top manager. Maybe it will be a Mourinho at some point. Maybe it will be. I doubt it will be a Pep or a Klopp, but they'll probably look for a manager like... I might be completely wrong, but that's just my opinion. Ozark, the next bit's not out until... Is it out? When's the next bit of Ozark out? Is it Friday? I think it's out on Friday, isn't it? Cancelo or Trent, says Stormy the Stormtrooper. Well, I wouldn't compare them because they're both in the team of the season, aren't they? One left back, one right back. Who's your favourite Batman actor and movie? Mine is Robert Pattinson. Prima, at this moment in time, I'm still Christian Bale. Yeah, I love the Dark Knight trilogy, so I'm still with that. But I will admit that the Batman Robert Pattinson one is darker and more comic book feel. So I understand why people say that. The Christian Bale Batman feels a little bit realistic, if it can be, But I still do prefer it at the moment. But they've only done one film with Pattinson, and by the time they've done 2 or 3, I think with more films it may eclipse it, yeah. Chelsea fan here, do you think we'll win the FA Cup, says Greg? I think Chelsea are capable of getting a result against Liverpool and Man City, I really do. I think Chelsea should have beat Real Madrid, and it would have made it very interesting, but... So yeah, Chelsea can beat Liverpool in the FA Cup, but it'll be very interesting to see how it pans out. I find it a weird. George Best or Cruyff, says Matt. I can't answer. I find it weird that the FA Cup is being played before the last Premier League games of the season. I presume that's because they need to end the season earlier, but I don't really like the FA Cup not being the last game of the season, but because I think the last day of the Premier League season can be a little bit... Diaz has done really well there, but his shot's actually going to go out for a throw-in if it does. What United players do you want to leave right now and why, says Techers? Honestly, Lingard, Pogba, Cavani, Mata, Matic, all of them are going to go, and I think they should go. Jones, Bailly, Tellez, Henderson, Martial, Wan-Bissaka. I think all those need to go as well at some point because I just don't see a future. And I think they want to play first team football somewhere, so I would move them on. I do think Maguire needs to go, but I don't think he needs to go this summer. It can be next summer, which gives him an opportunity. I don't think Rashford needs to go this summer. I think I'd give him another opportunity. I mean, I wouldn't cry if we sold either of them, but I think they will be given another year, and I think I would give them another year. Because I've just sold 11 players. You can't get rid of 12, 13 players. It's not FIFA and it's not Football Manager. So, Ahmad says, Villarreal are better than Man United, don't forget it. I love these sort of comments because it's almost as if they expect me to argue back. It's like that Simpsons thing, isn't it? Stop, we're already dead. Had a dream that you were the Emperor with diarrhea, says Lucas. God. As long as you want knocking one out, we can all sleep safely, I suppose. Kasper Schmeichel or Handanovic, poll, says Redface. Matip has and was up to 50. Well, I haven't started a new poll yet because there's 10 minutes to go in this game. And in the poll between Matip and Konate, it's actually 52% to 58% at the moment. So I just wanted to run it on a little longer in case we get something else. Trent's coming off here. Remember, I'm doing Liverpool versus Newcastle on Saturday as a watch-along in the Premier League. It's Saturday lunchtime in Newcastle. And it is a quick turnaround to play Wednesday night and Saturday lunchtime. It's only 2.5 days away. It's the same as playing Thursday night football and then playing Sunday lunchtime. So it is a quick turnaround for Liverpool. I might be completely wrong. They might steamroller Newcastle, but it is a quick turnaround for Newcastle, and I think Klopp is aware of that and starting to make a few subs with that in mind. Obviously, they've got to keep winning. Please subscribe, by the way. We're only 100 away from 663,000. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Really enjoyed your company again tonight. Not quite been the star-studded game of last night. I think a lot of us predicted 2-0 at the start of the game, didn't we, as well? I remember saying right before the game, someone said, what's your prediction? And I saw someone say 2-0, and I said, really? That is the most logical scoreline to predict. Maybe it won't stay that. Maybe Villarreal will get a goal, or maybe Liverpool will get another one. But it'd be nice if it stayed 2-0 because it just gives Villarreal a little chance in the second leg. I don't think it gives them a very big chance, but it gives them a little chance. Lovely play by Fabinho. Hi Mark, hope you're well. Will Ronnie will walk the snooker. How many world titles does Ronnie have? Six. So he could equal up with equal up with Ancelotti. He could equal up with Hendry this year. Do I think he will? It's written in the stars, probably. Looking like it's going to be Higgins, Trump, Williams and O'Sullivan. Yes, if he wins this one, he levels up with Hendry. We can't watch Champions League in Australia because it's a $30 subscription fee. What a joke, says Stephen. Well, we have to pay in the UK as well. Used to be free on a Wednesday and Tuesday night on ITV. You have to pay for it now on BT Sport. So, same here, mate. Same here. That Matip Konate poll has come down to 51%. I want to close it, but it's coming down. And we've had 8,600 votes. You know me, I won't close a poll if it's close. Robertson coming forward. Decent cross again. I mean, this really has been defence against attack. Relentless. Absolutely relentless defence against attack. If I told you that Liverpool have had 73% possession 18 shots to 1. It doesn't reflect the story, does it? It really doesn't. Do you think Nuno would fit in at Burnley? Come on, you Spurs. Well, he probably would. He probably would. It's 50-50 now, Matip and Konate. Can't close the poll on a 50-50. I love that. Inga says the English office is nowhere near as good as the American office. It's a rarity, isn't it, that the original gets remade better? Because the American office would not exist if it wasn't for the Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant office. So Liverpool are relentless. No, I've just tweeted out there what a rubbish semi-final. Not taking anything from Liverpool. I'm just saying Villarreal. I mean, if I'm Bayern Munich, I'm looking at myself and going, what? How? Have you been impressed by Pau Torres, Mark? Says Hazib. I mean, he's done all right. He's done all right. I think there was a very good point about high line. Can he play a high line? I mean, he does play in a higher line for Spain. So it's just not the way Villarreal have played here. (50-50). Shall I do a poll? English office against UK office. I think this is just going to have to be a draw between Konate and Matip. I would have gone for Matip, by the way. But it is a 50-50 draw. There you go. UK office or US office. Get your votes in. And they've got a shot on target. In the 86th minute. They finally had a shot on target. Villarreal. Easy save by Alisson. At least he's had something to do. He must get bored. He must get bored, I tell you. Three minutes to go. To be fair, it has been a quick game. For a game that's really been defensive against attack, it has gone rather fast. Michael Jordan or Phil Taylor? Love your work, Mark, says Dr. J. What, at basketball? Michael Jordan. If it's darts, it'll be Phil Taylor. When you can't sink the pink sometimes... Okay, damn, I ain't stupid. I know what that means. You're thinking about it, then there is rebuilding, bring players, everything more positive, good, and you can fight for trophies in England, Europa League, and maybe why should Ronaldo not stay? Think about it. I'm thinking about it, Zinedine Zidane. I'm thinking about it. Oh, Villarreal have just looked clueless, haven't they? Can they do anything at... Oh, good play here. Very good play. Oh, referee. Oh, he got the ball. Ref said he got the ball, Fabinho. Must have been a very good tackle because he would have been getting a yellow card for that. Liverpool have done fantastically well though because for Villarreal, the number 6 Capoue ran the game at Old Trafford, absolutely ran the game at Old Trafford, and he ain't had a look in tonight. He wants to come and get the ball all the time, but nobody in the US watches the UK version, but people in the UK watch the US one. Shows how much better the US version is, says Robert. So Robert's surveyed and been round to everybody's house in America, which is no mean feat. I mean, it's a shame he didn't do it for charity, mate, and make some money. But Robert's been to every house in America and nobody watches the UK office. So, yeah, there you go. Just because you're losing, Robble. It's 52... Well, you're not losing now. It's coming down. In light of the Old Trafford rebuild talks, is there any modern stadium you like? They may not look impressive, but dead compared to older grounds, says James Richardson. There are a few modern stadiums that I like. I do quite like the... is it the Allianz in Munich? I quite like that. I don't know whether there's a modern stadium in the UK I like. I don't like Wembley much, to be honest. Spurs, I'd need to visit it. It looks quite impressive on the telly, but I'd like to visit it. I can't stand these stadiums like the Riverside that Middlesbrough have got, or I mean the Emirates is it? I don't like the Emirates. I've been to the Emirates. It just feels a bit soulless. Maybe when they start winning trophies, it will feel better. But you go to Highbury, it's not even a stadium anymore. It's apartments. But you go outside Highbury, because if you're going to go to the Emirates, you can be there in 5 minutes walk anyway. You go to Highbury, and it feels like something because of the history. But I suppose you've got to build the history in 50 years' time. Maybe it's because they're new stadiums. 2 minutes added on. I love it. I love it in European football how it's very rare to see anything more than two minutes added. Sometimes you'll get 4, but most of the time it's 2 minutes added. In the Premier League, all the time 6. The Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Finn, I've not been to it, and I lived in Dublin, but I think it was built after I left. When did they build the Aviva? Because it was always Lansdowne Road. I went to Lansdowne Road a few times. Very atmospheric ground, Lansdowne Road, but very old. It definitely needed updating. Wanda is beautiful. I got to admit it as a Madrid fan, says Ian. Yeah, I do like the look of that. I do like the look of that. I do like the Amsterdam Arena as well. I do like the Ajax ground. Aviva was built in 2010. Yeah, I was gone. I was long gone by then. Bish bash bosh. I was in and out. What's wrong with Wembley? I just don't like it, Joseph. I prefer the old Wembley, which definitely needed renovating. But just again, I'm just not a fan of Wembley. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a fantastic stadium. I just don't. It's just like that's the problem with a lot of these modern stadiums. I just don't feel it. And that's the final whistle. It's 2-0 to Liverpool on the first 8 leg at Anfield. Many of us predicted it before a ball was kicked. I think Klopp will be happy with that. Liverpool will be happy with that. Again, on another night, it could have been 3 or 4-0 and it's all over. I think it's probably all over anyway, but it does give Liverpool a bit of some thinking to do in Spain. Obviously, if Villarreal were to score a goal early, or at any time really, it could turn it into a longer night. But cheese on toast or cheese toasty, you've got to go with the toasty. My favourite toasty, in fact, I can't remember where I used to get given them, but my favourite toasty was apple and ham. Delightful. I can't remember who used to give him them. In the most important battle of the night, either or, UK office versus US office. UK office 54%, US office 46%. So there you go. That's all anybody was here for, really. We'll be back on Saturday lunchtime with the next watch-along. We're going to do Liverpool against Newcastle Saturday lunchtime at Newcastle. Liverpool with only 2.5 days rest. Are they vulnerable or will they go and win again? We'll be live for that. Obviously, we've got content coming up for you over the next couple of days as well on this channel. FIFA Career Mode and any topical football topics as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Tomorrow night we'll be live on the United Stand for Chelsea against Man United if you want to join us on there. 8 o'clock kickoff as well. Speak to you all in a bit. Take care. Thanks very much for watching. I'm just going to do a quick match reaction now and I'll upload it in a mo.